start. On your table, there is a white sheet with dots, and there are some colored pens. Can you locate that? If everyone can see, there are some colored pens over there. It should be around the flower wasp, if you can just jump around. Yes. Thank you. Every table has located the sheets with dot and the color pens. You have to use 3 different colors, so you can choose your colors. And you need to create an imagination of connecting the dots and creating an image of whether you were traveling in today and stuck in the traffic, or any experiences you have gone through while coming towards this place. Just do the imagination, connect the dots, create an image, and give a title. It's a masterclass. Professor Arun Jain will have a lot of exercises for sure. This is the first one to start with. And I'm giving you around a minute to do that. 60 seconds. Can I have some people with cordless mics to go around the tables in a minute from now? Another 10 seconds before the exercise wraps up. Okay, Arun is saying give 30 seconds more, so I'm... People just walking in, you have white sheet and color pens. The white sheet has some dots. You can connect the dots and create an image of experiences you have gone in while coming for this session, or anything which comes to your mind, and give a title to that sheet. So, and there are color pens over there on the table. You have to use 3 color pens, which you can use. Okay, looks like we have done. People just walked in. You have a few more minutes by the time I go to the other table, so you can complete. The volunteers with mic, can they go to table and... Do we have cordless mics? Yeah, can you help me to go to the table, and can people, some raise their hands as to who would like to talk about what you have painted? Yeah, so please.
Can I show?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah, so I created a two-way traffic in this, Mumbai traffic.
Can you turn around to that camera, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a camera here. Oh, sorry, sir. There is a camera here. He's the guy standing.
So what I've created a street where there is a two-way traffic, and you see the lineup of car on the both sides. That's what I've done.
Perfect.
That's it.
That's a great imagination.
Yeah.
Thank you. Who's next? Yeah.
Hi, good evening. I am Om Prakash Seth, CIO IDBI Bank. So while I travel, what comes into my mind is the Google Map. So while I feel that the Google Maps shows the shortest path, uh, but there are some hotspots where the traffic jams happens. It cannot predict that while I will reach on that point, there will traffic jam. So all the predictions becomes wrong actually. So always I take my own heuristic decision. I'll take this path only, which is the shortest one I know. So somewhere I find that while the models they predict, they fail to include some kind of evolving dynamic inputs which will come at that point in time and incorporate and then make the decision. So that's how the decisions becomes inefficient and failures. And that's why we say ki whatever the AI does, on top there has to be human supervision to ensure that it is within the guardrails actually. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who please raise hand who would like to talk about what you've drawn on the white sheet, connecting the dots?
One person from that side. Give him
Hello, good evening everybody. So what I've drawn is actually the barricades, and these barricades are against the laws of Google Maps. Because when I was driving towards the hotel, it was showing a turn, but suddenly I found there are barricades. So I had to go all the way and take a U-turn and come back. And so I think this is something which probably is missing. The human touch is missing, or maybe the real-time feed is missing to actually give the the current insights, the real insights, the live insights. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to? Okay. Thank you so much for being part of that exercise. I think you all would have loved it, and specifically using that color pens after a long time, for sure. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome. It's real pleasure to see so many of you in person, and I want to thank each one of you for taking time to join us this evening, specifically going through the traffic chaos, which you would have certainly gone through. Of course, the weather was on our side for today, for sure, but I know the kind of traffic chaos you would have maneuvered yourself to be here. Thank you so much. What promises to be, today a powerful and a thought-provoking session. I'm Hitesh Arora. I'm going to be your moderator for today's session. Think me, or you can take me as your navigator, keeping us on track, on time, hopefully with just little more curious as we go. So please reserve your questions towards the end. We have a Q&A session. However, if there is any inching question, please don't hold back. You can shoot to us at any point of time. Just to set the context, we are at a tipping point on enterprise technology. Just few weeks ago, if you would have read, McKinsey published a powerful insight, one that's already echoing across the boardrooms. Despite widespread GenAI adoption, with over 78% organizations and enterprises adopting for it, majority, around 80%, are still not seeing any material business impact. Well, they called it as GenAI paradox. But why that gap is, why organizations are not able to get the real business impact from the AI? We believe because most of the organizations are focusing around horizontal use cases. They are more on co-pilots, more on chatbots, and more on productivity boosters, without touching the core business processes, where the real value is. It's a bit like giving everyone a calculator, but never teaching them to rethink the math. The future is not just AI enabled, it is AI reimagined. And that's exactly what we will explore today. This evening is all about business impact AI and how it transforms enterprise really. Together, we will look at moving beyond experimentation and pilots, embedding AI across operations, compliance, customer journeys, and product, creating lasting values through a platform designed for measurable impact. And to guide us through this journey is someone who does not just follow the future, he creates it. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Arun Jain, founder of Nucleus, Polaris, and now Intellect Design Arena. Arun is technologist, a visionary, and an institution builder who has been ahead of the curve for last over 39 years. He's also chief architect of Purple Fabric, the world's first open business impact AI platform. This is not about bolting AI onto old systems. This is about rethinking the business model with intelligence at its core. In Arun's own words, we do not plug AI into old processes. We redesign, we re-architect, we re-engineer business models around business impact AI. So this is not just a masterclass, it's working session. You will go through many exercises, a rethinking moment, and perhaps the start of a bold new chapter of how your organization uses AI. Thank you once again for being here. Let's get started. Please welcome Mr. Arun Jain.
Good evening. It's a privilege to be with a live audience. I had 2 master classes on Zoom on 3rd June and 18th June, where I couldn't see the faces of the people. This is an opportunity for me to interact more efficiently. When you talk about business impact AI, what Hitesh is mentioning, today the AI is in the same time zone as in 1995 when internet was born, and we are all saying internet has a great potential to change the technology space, but we didn't know how to use it. Only few people like Amazon started using for e-commerce, and by the time banks start putting the websites, they start putting websites. So internet was just like a website, so tool. Till 2000, it was high quality websites of the banks are put on that. Internet banking, a lot of believer, not of non-believers. Oh, how do the transaction will happen? What security will happen? How can I do the payment on internet? How is it possible? Those are the questions were raised by most of the banks. Few banks like Citibank took a leadership in 97, 98. They built up the portals. They took an entire 50, 60% market share just because they chosen the platform before anybody else. And that's the power of understanding a technology first. So instead of showing the demonstration what technology is all about, we need to give a concept behind it, what technologies are. What is the AI technology which is happening? So there is a space called foundational technology, which started by, initially the models used to be there. So first technology spaces started happening where we had a models. So AI is not new to us. 95 onwards, we are talking about AI in some form or the other. Google map, which you described, Om Prakash, is coming from that. In 2008, 2009, we have a predictive AI, which is based on the model. So what has changed in 2022? What has changed? Why does AI become suddenly such a loud noise in the system, which was not there when Google launched 2008, a predictive AI? If you go back to the science of learning, we learn 2 things when we are in primary school. We learn numbers and we learn language. That's how the 2 subject is taught in a primary school when we are Numbers were decoded into a AI way back in 1960s, 1970s. Numbers were decoded so computer can operate on those numbers. It was easy for that to decode the numbers. But language was not. The second piece of on the basis of which human intelligence gets built, language forms a key portion. Numbers and language creates a human intelligence. So if I look at it, we had a 1 leg, but second leg was missing. And as soon as LLM and foundational technology happen, where we are able to vectorize each word, each sentence, and each phrase, the magic happened. Now we had two kinds of a thing. One is predictive AI and one is generative AI. If both can come together, it creates a foundational AI. Now these are the foundational AI. It's not necessary that's a business impact AI. There's a gap between foundational AI, which is foundation in nature, and then to translate So there are two lenses are there. One lens is a foundational lens, which is a lot of research in America happen, Silicon Valley research happen, all are in foundational area. How to create a good quality language model. And then how do we solve point solution one by one, writing a code, making a presentation, making a chatbot, making a UX experience, all are individual expression of that foundation model which can be applied in day-to-day life to give an individual efficiency. At individual level, you feel very excited when you give a topic to the chatbot, ChatGPT, give me a presentation, it will give you a presentation, it will summarize the document. Those are the things which we feel excited about it, and Copilot, that's where the Microsoft spread the whole technology based on same principle that if I give a Copilot, I will make you personal efficiency, and smaller tasks which you are doing, you can make it more efficient. Now, when I look from enterprise lens, so there are two corners of the river. One side is foundational technology, second side of the river is the enterprise technology. When we are running a bank, we are running a technology for the bank. Our problem statements are very different from individual effectiveness. Individual productivity is critical, but it's not that critical as I'm responsible for the client, I'm responsible for the risk, I'm responsible for compliances, regulation. I'm running a banking and financial system runs on a huge amount of complexities, which foundational model people couldn't able to realize. Where are 39 years of experience, my personal journey working in this space from 1986 when I started being the vendor of Citibank and build up auto loan system and advances against financial systems in 86, 87, ATM, first ATM we launched, first credit card system I designed, first distributed computing I designed in 92. That's the time when distributed computing was just coming. And working with all of you as a customer in some life cycle stage with all of you, whether in the form of Nucleus, in the form of Polaris, in the form of Intellect, we have a great learning from each one of you. Each situation is a learning for us. And those learnings we embellish into create a Purple Fabric platform. So if I go back to what is the best, the first question comes to our mind is what is the best approach for AI for business? A question plaguing in all the C-suites, all the boardrooms, this question is there. What is your investment in AI? How are you going to use AI? Where are you using AI? There is an anxiety in everybody that I should not fall behind. I should be ahead of the race. Fueled by AI everywhere, all at once. Sometimes strategic direction of how do you make a strategic roadmap is sometimes missing. It has been rushed to do something AI, to be seen to do something AI. The two expressions are there. One expression is, मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ और मुझे दिखना चाहिए मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ. So these are the two expressions which are there. There is ad hoc AI. There is something in-house AI capability. Build attempts are not always holistic because internal IT departments have a limited budgets. They don't have R&D department to build the complete platform. The best CIO will get few leadership, few teams. At Intellect, we invested in AI since 2016. We set up a team in AI lab in New York, then second lab in UK, London, and third in India. So these 3 labs from 2016. We are close to 200 people working in AI since 2016. Our investment in AI alone is a 1,000 crore investment out of 4,000 crore investment, which we did in R&D. Our bet was that AI has to come in. The way internet has come in, AI has to come in. We made our set of mistakes. When we start applying AI in 2016 and 17, I felt excited, oh, let's go to the customer and now win the market. We fall flat on the face because we solve the problem on, we written some agent, we written some tools, and when they demonstrated, it looks okay, I can solve customer origination problem, I can solve insurance underwriting problem, and all the imagination run wild. When we demonstrated POC, it went very well. People said, okay, the great POC. But when we are going to implement, we never thought of it enterprise governance. That we've forgotten about there is a compliance manager in the company. We've forgotten about there is a deployment manager in the company. We've forgotten about IT manager of the company. We've forgotten that there is a traceability required and ethical AI is required. The results were there, but the connecting all the dots were missing. And again, we have to go back 2 years to validate what is the enterprise governance is required in AI. Though the solutions were there, but not enterprise governance. And without enterprise governance, no financial institution in the world will pick up any technology, howsoever good it may be, for implementation. So it remained at the gatekeeper level. Gatekeeper was business manager who was trying to sell, and there was a CIO who was saying, I cannot deploy it. My infrastructure will be risky. So this is a fight between the two of them, a logical fight. So in-house capability build attempts are not always holistic. Frustrating attempt of agent that remains in tight silos. Sometimes you build up an agent which is silos agent. If it doesn't drive business impact, it is not an enterprise AI. And this is a space I just want to show this movie. Just watch and observe. Just switch off the lights.
Isn't it nice when things just work?
You will be believing why I am showing Honda ad here. Just observe what 3 words comes to your mind. Write down on a sheet of paper the 3 words which describe this movie. 3 words which comes to you. Each one of you on the table, just write 3 words which describe this movie when you see it. Everybody written 3 words, simple 3 words. Share these 3 words with each other. What are 3 words each one of you see? On the table, just share the words. What are the 3 words written from left to right? How many words are common? How many words are unique? Out of the 5 people on the table, let's say the six people on the table, how many words are common? How many? Only one word is common. And how many unique words came out on 6 people? 6 into 3, 18 words are possible. Around 10 words? 10 to 12 words are there. Now we have seen same picture, same movie. My interpretation of that movie, which is same movie, all of us have seen the same movie. My interpretation of my mind as a human intelligence is different for each one of us, observed a different pattern and different word associated with it. So when I ask you to write 3 words in a group of 6, only one word is common while everybody else seen it very differently. That's how AI is all about. We see it from different lens, we see from different perspectives, and that's a lens unique to us. We may have technology lens, we may have business lens, we may have ops lens, we have a compliance lens, we have a chief operating officer lens, we have a CEO lens. Each lens is seeing the same movie which is happening around us of AI, which is spanning around articles, LinkedIn, every day on WhatsApp, media. It's coming with a, and we interpret differently. All the heroes, experts, and that's where the complexity happens, because if everybody sees the world differently, how do you align and converge? And for that, some of the points I'll take it, that what is the problem of AI getting business impact? We need boulders to blast, not rocks to, it's a boulders to blast. First boulder is our technology. Infrastructure limitations. My integration complexity with the legacy systems. I'm sitting with the legacy systems, I need to integrate them. I have a structured data sitting there. I have a model reliability, which model will work for me or not work for me. Unpredictable cost. As soon as I choose a model, what limit it will land up into, I don't know. So how much approval should I take for how much budget it will be for automating a particular platform? There's a organization level boulders, siloed operations, customer onboarding, transaction processing, customer service, risk and compliance, product management, entitlements, enterprise-wide AI strategy, financial, high initial investment, unclear business case, pilot trap. You get into pilots, let's do the pilot. When you go to CEO, let's do a pilot. Let's come back after 3 months. 3 months is lost. After the pilot, then you will look at it, what the technology department will not go live with. Even if a very good organization is there, 8 weeks lost. Ethical and legal, bias and fairness, explainability, data privacy, governance. So these are the 4 areas which boulders we need to blast. We are recommending 4-fold path of business impact AI. AI comes from the knowledge. Any intelligence comes, the core of intelligence is a knowledge. When I did a chat GPT that time saying, tell me what is the intelligence? He said, intelligence is applying knowledge to solve problem. It means knowledge is a starting point, and how you apply knowledge to solve the problem is a intelligence. So it means first thing I need to understand what is the right knowledge is for me. For solving any problem, what is the knowledge it requires? Input is a knowledge. And if input is sitting in, knowledge is sitting in my individual co-pilots, not at the enterprise level, how do I leverage that knowledge across? So I need a right knowledge. I need right digital experts. Now you think, we talk about agent, and multi-agent. Why Arun is talking about digital expert? I'll come to that answer later on. Right governance and right LLM. Anybody can guess how many LLMs are there in the world? Any guess? Just throw the number in air. How many? 20K plus. It's much more than that. How many? 20,000 he is saying. Is it okay, 20,000 LLMs? There is a site called Hugging Face. If you go to Hugging Face, when I went last year, it was 300,000 LLMs. This year I went to that site, it is 1.7 million LLMs. 1.7 million LLMs are there in the world. Now we talk about ChatGPT, OpenAI, Bedrock, only few of them. There is a specialized LLM for each kind of function which is need to be chosen. We need to select the right LLM. LLM is like my library. When I'm doing a PhD, I will need to go to 4 or 6 libraries to pick up a specific book. That's what LLM is all about. So for a digital expert, I need to, yeah. No. This is something completely different. So just simplifying that, LLM is a knowledge which you are getting. LLM is a large language model, means you are getting a large knowledge pool. It's a library for you, which can retrieve based on the question. Library takes longer time, LLM takes shorter time for retrieving the knowledge, and it can give you connected knowledge. So simple thing is, library has got 20 books. If I put into vectorization form, I can, when I ask a question, it will say chapter 1 and chapter 7 in a one book, chapter 3 and chapter 4 in other book. They are connected, and it gives me the summary. That's how the LLM works. So I can put only wealth LLM only for wealth. I can have only LLM for technology. So the 4 elements are important: right knowledge, right digital expert, right governance, and right LLMs are the 4-fold path of business impact AI. And it should be together in one platform, not separately. Because if it is separately, you can't consume it well. You can't keep a governance well. To do enterprise AI right, I need a right design and right engineering. I need to reimagine of every business imperative. There are 4 business imperatives. First is reimagine customer experience. Second is reimagine products, what you are offering to the marketplace. Reimagine operations, and reimagine compliance. There are 4 areas of reimagination. How do you do the reimagination? There are 3 methods of reimagination. First is design thinking. Second is first principle thinking. And third is system thinking. So you have to start the journey from design thinking first, where customer comes first. What is the need of a bank? What is the need of a role holder as a risk and compliance officer? What is the need of a CIO? What is the need of a CEO? Each one is a customer. We need to look, we have to put him in the center and then design the end offering. That's about design thinking. So if I go to the design thinking as a culture, it's a culture in an institution, in AI organization, which is must, where customer comes first, not the product comes first. All the banking systems are designed where product comes first, not the customer comes first. We are going inside out, that I have this product, please buy me. I am not designing a product that a consumer, retail consumer who is getting a first job, what his needs are. What is the stated needs and what is unstated needs. If he needs deposit, lending, investment in a one particular product, can I create a one product which has got all the 3? Or otherwise I have to open 3 accounts, one investment account, one lending account, and one deposit account. Today that is the frustration of the customer, that I have to open 3 accounts for 3 different things, but I'm, as a customer, if I'm getting a salary of 1 lakh rupees, I need to put a SIP of 10,000 rupees a month. I need to open a SIP account, I need to open and I need a loan for the mortgage, I need to open 3rd account. That's what is happening today. It's a completely inefficient system we are designed because of the product-centric nature without a design thinking in place. So design thinking is about customer desirability. It comes from desirability. It comes with technology as a feasibility, and business makes it viable. This is the first stage of doing it. Now you say, do I understand what is the desirability of the customer? Desirability is a mystery. When you start working on any desirability of a particular segment of the customer, you don't know what his needs are. We consult McKinsey, we consult BCG, define me segment, define this. It is at the stage of mystery level. I start observing certain patterns, I create heuristics, and when it becomes algorithm, then it scales. For scaling up any business, you need a algorithm. The 3 laws of design thinking, less is more. There is a finite number we should manage. Our human mind, when you say something is infinite, when you say, oh, technology is infinite, number of programs are infinite, number of APIs are infinite. When I ask any banker and ask him how many APIs do you have? Oh, thousands. I'm saying it's a good thing to have or bad thing to have? The more APIs more or less API more? If you have if you have multi-thousand APIs, how many risk points are there? Each API creates a risk point because it's a connection to the outside world. And if you don't have a governance of API itself, you are introducing a vulnerability to the bank. So I need less is more. Second law is that what I'm choosing is a theory of prioritization. What is 1000-gram items? What is 100-gram item? What is 10-gram item? We implemented this in Intellect. When we say ABC of the classification versus 10, 100, and 1000 gram, my mind works differently. I say design the thinking. Before thinking the design, I need to design the thinking before thinking the design. So before coming to designing the process, designing the product, I need to think about design the thinking. Design the thinking happens on 3 things: reasoning, judgment, and decisioning. And that can happen only when I can relate to the words which I associate, because 1000 gram relates because gram is a weight. It impacts me. ABC is a number. It doesn't impact my brain. It doesn't give me the same impact. So when we look at any minutes of meeting which has got a 10 points per minutes of meeting, typically any meeting will have a 10 points. And a senior executive, we are doing 5 meetings a day, 50 points per day, 5 days a week, 250 points, 4 weeks a month, 1000 points. Now 1000 action points, how do we work on it? Every manager looks at it, things to do list, keep on getting refreshed every weekend. On Saturday, you keep on thinking the list to be refreshed. If I identify only 1 point or 2 points per 1000 gram, I reduce by 10, 20, I bring the whole 1000 point to 200 points. Then if I classify further to bring 200 points to 20 points. Then I further summarize, I make it 4 points. That's how the theory of design thinking works, laws of design thinking work. The third law of design thinking is last 2% is 200%. 98% product in the market are same or similar. Bank A, Bank B, Bank C will have a similar product. It's the 2% which is give you 3 times the pricing. A 5-star hotel and 3-star hotel, 3-star hotel has the same room and 5-star hotel has the same room. The rate of a 5-star hotel is 3 times the price of a 3-star hotel. iPhone is 3 times price than a Chinese phone. The difference would be 2%. Why you willing to spend 1 lakh rupees for iPhone and 30,000 rupees for Chinese phone? Functionality wise, the Chinese phone will give you more apps, more functionality than Apple can give. But still you prefer iPhone because last 2%. Because everything is connected there. You are feeling secure over there. So these are 3 laws of design thinking. Moving from there, first principle thinking. Once you have done the design thinking and algorithm is made, then you have to ask first principle thinking, means asking why. Why bank exists? We asked the question in 2015 when we started Intellect from Polaris. And we embarked on the journey of we want to create an impact of simplifying banking. By that time I spent almost 29 years in my journey when I decided to let go my service business and I decided to set up a product company which can make a difference. My challenge was that I was constantly keep looking at it from banking industry that everybody speaks about it that we need to simplify, but year on year, banking technology is becoming complex and complex. That time in 2000 when we started, Citibank used to have a budget of $1 billion for technology. By the time, every decade, it becomes 3 billion, 5 billion. And last time, Jamie Dimon says, I am spending $17 billion for technology. And he's celebrating $17 billion. My question to him is, he's not here. My question to him is, by investing more, are you more efficient? Or by writing a smart technology, you will be more efficient. You are keeping the technology inefficient and keeping layer on layer on layer on the band-aid technology you are putting on the top of it and saying I'm building $2 billion for AI. Is $2 billion for AI is the role of a bank to invest into it? Is the right budget to invest into it, or you're just celebrating that, intimidating other banks that they cannot invest into AI? So first principle thinking is about asking the first why question. So we ask a why question in AI. What is human intelligence and what is artificial intelligence? So if you need to understand what is human intelligence comes from 3 dimensions. Knowledge in the center, you build expertise on dimension X, you build up perspective on dimension Y, and you build up behavior and traits, which is on dimension Z. So X, Y, Z coordinate, which you must have seen it, this combination of triangulation of these 3 axes given you the human intelligence. So expertise is defined by number of skills I possess. I have a domain skills, I have a technology skills, I have a project management skills. Those are the which makes me expert. Perspective comes from my intent and purpose. What is my intent? Intent is the sales management. Intent is what is my purpose in the organization as a CIO. It's about imagination. It's about empathy. It's about experiences, which creates my lens through which I see the world. Perspective is the lens through which I see the world. And behavior is about my courage. Do I make a decision? Is it courage? What is my curiosity? What is my reasoning? What is my judgment? What is my decision making? These 5 things constitute my behavior traits. When you look around all the leaders in this room, when you look around choosing a person for your talent, when you're interviewing a person, are you looking this as a matrix, consciously, subconsciously? May not be consciously, but subconsciously. This forms the human intelligence. Not in that scenario, when I'm designing a business impact AI, I need to understand this 3-dimensional matrix to design an expert system. Expert system can only come when I have a human expert on one side. I need to have a AI expert system on other side, which I call digital expert. So which I mentioned in the beginning, right digital expert. This is the starting point of designing a right digital expert, because we are starting from a first principle thinking, because that agent should have a right perspective, that agent should have a right traits, and that should have a right skill. If you are using only one thing as a skill in agent, my output as a digital expert will be only agentic AI, which will be only skill based, not expertise based. Now if I apply our whole premise as a company, as the intellect design arena, there are 3 words in intellect design arena. Intellect, which is our thinking process. Design is the core value. And arena is that we need multiple ways of putting the things together. So we have a research team of 1,200 people. In last 10 years, we invested 20 million hours of the time by 1,200 engineers. If you take a cost of US $100 per hour, and if this company would have existed in US, we would have invested $2 billion in intellect design arena. We'll end up invested $500 million in last 10 years, or 4,000 crore equivalent investment in building it. But US would have been 4 times cost. Now that went into decomposition. And we asked the question, why do FI exist? because there is a financial event happen in the life of the customer. And so the event which happens in the life of the customer is when I get a first job, when I need a loan, when I need an investment, when I need a payment. These are the 4 events happen for retail customer, consumer customer. Similarly, in corporate customer, when I have to sell, I have to export, I need a trade limits, I need a bank guarantees. Those are the point in financial event. Bank only provides service to those events. A financial institution is service provider when somebody needs a working capital or mortgage loan or auto loan, they need service, but event is a starting point of it. When service is packaged into a technology, it's called microservice. So when you put your service, physical service, when I encode back, it's called microservice. This microservice needs to connect to other services, which is through APIs. It has to sit on a secure infrastructure, which is a cloud. It has to have composability to define for a particular segment, a product line is called composability. These 5 things coming together is what we call eMAC.ai. E for event, M for microservices, A for API, C for cloud, H for headless. One principle we encode into word eMAC, and then they require intelligence is called AI. So this is a technology which we developed over the last 10 years, where we decoded the complete banking into a single book where every cell is codified and has a zip code to it. So each knowledge has a zip address. The way your housing is there, it has got a 6-digit zip code for each knowledge in the banking system is zip coded. Once we did the zip coding of the knowledge, we made the world finite. Because for us, banking didn't look as complex as it used to look as an infinite set of knowledge. We said, this is the knowledge which is there. Then we consolidate the knowledge into saying, this is a cumulative knowledge. Then we put into, there are only 386 microservices. So if you look at any bank, how many services do you provide to customer and internal? We consolidated those into 386 service microservices in retail banking, capital market, and wholesale banking. Just 386 microservices. As soon as we consolidate into just 386 microservices, we remove the fear of saying core banking is a complex. Lending is a complex. To me, core banking has a 42 microservices, that's all. Lending has a 46 microservices, that's all. Wealth has a 32 microservices, that's all. Once it is made finite, I made one team of 3 people to run that microservice. Then I said how many APIs can be possible. We consolidated all the APIs into 2000 APIs, 2015 APIs across the banking industry, internal, external APIs. We look at it 650 events. Now we are doing, so these are 3 assets, event, microservice API, and we have a platform called Turmeric where I can compose a solution for you. So my cycle time for delivering the final solution of core banking transformation for many customers has come down to less than 9 months. Somewhere it's 15 months when the large bank is there, some smaller bank is there. In 9 months time, core banking migration is possible today with this kind of a technology approach. This is we call level 0, global universal banking. This has got 9 lines of business, core banking, lending, cards, wealth, securities, treasury, payments, receivable collection, virtual accounts, liquidity, trade finance, and supply chain. Each goes into the further structuring. Now when we look at AI, this is a one framework thinking, or I call system thinking. Now I am coming to system thinking. So first principle thinking to system thinking. System thinking is about putting one system in one single slide. If you put on a single slide, my mind can absorb the relationship between the various components if they are connected together. If you don't put in single slide, because mind is a picture mind. Mind doesn't pick up the numbers. Mind only pick up the picture. So you have to bring every component into a single slide. If it is all in single slide, my mind is able to say, this is a friction point, this is an error, this is a broken window, this is a friction point. I can identify over here. Similarly, when we are designing AI for Intellect and we implemented Purple Fabric for Intellect, we look at it that what is the knowledge is required for implementing in an Intellect. At the bottom level, I started with the functional knowledge, my product capability, my user journey, my installation guide, my business product extensibility, operation manual. Then technical knowledge, technical architecture, emac.ai, APIs, data model. This is my flow knowledge. Flow knowledge is, which is when I release the product, what are the defects, which is experience in the field, what is the change request, change patterns. Then this is the knowledge on the customer and implementation knowledge. When I implemented customer side, what the knowledge is sitting there. And these are my guardrails. This is my system, microservices, cloud native design, database design. All my guardrails and policies are in this knowledge garden. Once I take this knowledge garden, I move to the roles in the organization. At Intellect, we have a sales and solution support role, project management role, requirement, architecture, development, coding. Then we have what we need experts for. We need an expert for diagnostic. If somebody raises a problem, customer calls me up that this is a problem, I need to have a diagnose whether where to fix it. Because I have a knowledge garden, my GPT, Enterprise GPT can tell him that these are the 3 possible combination, and this problem was experienced 6 months back by one of the customer in Africa. Maybe this looks similar problem. I need it for generation. When RFP comes to me, I can respond RFP. I can do a code generation. I can have my artifacts, all my interfaces, all my test cases, all of UI generation, tech upgrade, all are part of my generative AI, which is the digital expert too. This is my review experts. So my quality department, when they review it, they created their own experts. These are my analyzing agents. This is my assurance experts. And this is my tech SME. This is my domain SME. This is my security SME. And this is my pattern synthesizer. So now this is a cartographic view of system thinking, what we want to achieve. Now this is a end state. It's not that we build all the expert till now. But I know where is the end state. I am started building. I may be there in 70% cases, but I know by September I will be here, by December I will be here, by March I will be here. I have a roadmap to this. In absence of a system thinking, you don't know where are you going. So this is a strategic roadmap. We have used 217 technologies, 4 tech stack. First tech stack is called Enterprise Knowledge Garden. You need your own knowledge garden which you can curate. You have data lakes, you have a data warehouse, but you don't have a knowledge garden. Once you have a enterprise digital experts, the way we have defined in technology company, you need a similar digital expert for bank. We'll show you how many digital experts are ready for use, and we'll demonstrate you they are working and they can be applied in your system. Enterprise governance and LLM optimization hub. I'll take each one of them. Knowledge has 3 kinds of knowledge any enterprise has. Explicit knowledge, which is documented in documents. Implicit knowledge, which is available in workflows, where people ask your neighbor, okay, how do you run this? If this is a business case, how do you run it? It's implicit. It's not documented. It's there in every bank has got implicit knowledge. And then there's a tacit knowledge, which is with the people. You say, oh, this problem has happened. Please consult Srinivasan. For this problem, please consult Amit. That is sitting in a tacit knowledge form, not in an enterprise knowledge garden. We need guide rail documents. We need guardrail documents. We need flow knowledge and customer knowledge. So we'll give you the example where a largest investment fund has created an enterprise knowledge garden of 15 million documents because they have 9,000 investments. And for each investment they have made, they want non-financial knowledge of their customers. What is getting published in any media, any press release, anything they have, so that they can have a nudge and they can have an alert system built on the top of it, because 9,000 investment cannot be tracked on a normal basis. And that is the enterprise knowledge garden is playing a critical role for them in defining it. They defined 150 questions, that these are 150 questions I need to ask. And these 150 questions, 15 million documents, last 10-year data about the company, what promises they made, it's a part of it. Like say, if you are an investment banker, you need to have your own knowledge sitting of the last 10 years of the company where you invested, what quarterly results are there, what is the CEO spoken in an investor call, and you want to connect all of them and creating an enterprise GPT. And there you can pick up all that reports analyst has published about the company. If 4 the knowledge sets can come in, then you can ask what kind of a question which you need to ask each time when you have a meeting or any investor call is there. So that's the advantage of enterprise knowledge garden. Concept 3 is knowledge as a service alongside data as a service to make expertise as a service. So we provide data as a service, we are adding knowledge as a service. Good EKG will drive down LLM cost. If you have a good knowledge garden, your LLM cost will come down by 70%. Otherwise, it will do hallucinate. It will take the knowledge from somewhere. If you have organized the knowledge garden appropriately, it's like going to knowledge. If garden is well organized and you have a right gates, you can reach to the specific flower easily. But if it's not organized, no address is there, you have to ask 10 people that I want hibiscus flower, where do I find it? So this is the same thing where LLM costs are going haywire. We have demonstrated the cost of this 15 million documents for this enterprise. Total cloud cost and LLM cost is less than $200,000 a year. For $15 million enterprise knowledge garden, the cloud cost, computing cost plus LLM cost is less than $200,000. $15,000 if I maintain an enterprise knowledge garden is a phenomenally efficient system. But when we started the project 2.5 years back, LLM in first cycle was exorbitantly high. Knowledge architects, composer, contributor, and consumer. So knowledge can be, there will be knowledge contributors, there will be knowledge composers, there will be knowledge architects. There are new roles will emerge in a new economy of knowledge management. And we can have enterprise GPT on top of it, where like ChatGPT is there, you can give enterprise GPT to all your branch managers. So what we have given an example to you, enterprise knowledge garden, we can demonstrate at any point of time. We collected, let's say, 15 large banks. We crawl their websites, pick up their entire knowledge of their websites, and then I say, I want to compare my lending product against HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. What is the lending product they are offering and what I am offering? Now, if I give it to the branch manager who has customer in front of him, and he can compare the product with a competitive product and can give a script to him, it is a great cross-sell lever for the branch. Enterprise GPT is a large cross-sell lever for the branch manager, for relationship manager, for operations manager. So if I look at it, on the right side, if you look at it, there are knowledge gardens are there. I can switch on, switch off customer knowledge garden, process knowledge, product, talent. This is how I can categorize. These are the questions you can start. You can research, you can search like anything else. You can upload the documents what is required. So this is like enterprise GPT, which is you can distribute to 10,000 people. You can't distribute ChatGPT to 10,000 people. Neither you have budget, nor you have a one knowledge which can help him to do it. So enterprise knowledge garden 1.0 is just website scanning because we cannot enter into a policy. 2.0 is when once you subscribe to the enterprise knowledge garden, Purple Fabric garden, then we vectorize the knowledge for you of your policies, your documents, your product documents, all will be part of 2.0. Once you created a good knowledge garden, then we bring in structured data, which is there sitting in data lake, to be combined with the knowledge as a service and make two of them together working, operating, which is EKG 3.0. Then EKG 4.0 is about connecting your system with the ecosystem, with other banks. This is a kind of some of the examples which you have given, knowledge gardens and customer sales and different function role holders, we can look at it. Some of the. So this is about keeping garden close to data lakes, next to each other. Now I move to digital expert, which I explained. We need to have a concept one. Agents are my task holder, one skill. Who is owning one skill? Skill of reading, skill of presenting. Each is a skill. They could be atomic agent, they could be molecular agent, they could be compound agent, which can perform multiple tasks together is a compound agent. Purpose of agent, I can have a reflex agent which is rule based. I can have a model based agent on internal models. I have a goal based agent which is on objectives. I have a utility based agent optimize outcome. Learning agent evolve through experience. Concept 3, digital expert with intelligent orchestration and agent human orchestration. We need to have agent to agent orchestration, where each agent will talk to each other. So within a digital expert, if there are 15 agents, they will talk to each other, which is inter-agent orchestration. And then agent to, when they need human intervention and human expert to be called on, then you need human to agent interaction. So I need to build up two orchestration, which is not possible by co-pilots there, because both the co-pilots are working separately. One Salesforce has a one co-pilot and one Microsoft. They don't have they're not sharing any knowledge. Managing composable task based team of atomic compound. And this is essential for improving the efficiency of accuracy of your knowledge or to 95% plus. Typically, LLM will give you knowledge which is 80% right. The journey is 80% to 95% can happen with a concept 3 where we have agent to agent reasoning, Socrates dialogue, judgment, and suggested decisioning, recommendation. 2 communities for digital expert, design and build community and consumer. Like if I have to design EnterpriseGPT for branch managers, I can have one community which is designing, and there is a 10,000 branch manager or 2 or 3 per branch manager, or all the relationship manager can be the consumer of it. Digital expert composition with API calls. This expert can be called as an API into your existing application. Purple Fabric is the only system which can give you the API call based digital experts. So you build up a digital expert on Purple Fabric, which you can give a call and invite what you want to do as an API call. This is a kind of your digital expert on demand, which can be applied in customer onboarding, it can be applied in credit operations, it can be applied in transaction operation, payment operation, customer service, regulatory, procurement. These are the various areas where you have a set of digital expert. If I plot a cartographic view of map similar to system thinking, we start with a experience. We start with the experience layer here, onboarding experience, digital engagement experience, relationship manager. These are the 3 set of experts. They are experts in branch operation, transaction operation, trade operations, credit operations, wealth operations, treasury operations. These are operations area where we have a digital expert. Each area has got 4 or 5 digital experts. Then there is a product design and management, risk and compliance, tech operations. There is enterprise knowledge garden in the bottom. There is a customer service department in the. So this is a set of digital experts which we have. They are available in a book which we call Purple Fabric book. There are 68 experts listed down here. It's not a complete list because when we published 2 months back, it was up to that point of time, and every time it's growing. So this is a book you can order for to look at it, what is ready-made available on this area. Now, just to give an example of how corporate customer onboarding operations are there. when you have to onboard a corporate, how many agents will be required? It's a full landscape. If you look at new to bank customer onboarding use case, new to bank, new to product, new file format, segment upgrade, external account, internet banking, mobile banking. These are my onboarding use case. Then I have a Purple Fabric technical component, optical character recognition, natural language, entity recognition. These are my technology component. These are my digital expert functional component 1.1, which is around capturing data. It could be collection of data from email, collection of data from validating the data from my third party. I can connect to ROC. Those are my collection of the data, processing, transformation, unification. So there are 7 agents which are doing my capturing the data. There are 5 agents which is doing the assessment the risk. There are 4 agents which is doing the workflow. There are 4 or 5 agents which is working, and there are 5 agents which is working over there. Now you can choose out of this 22 agents, you can compose them into various APIs. And you can design the experience you want to give it to your customer against various use cases. Similarly, for transaction banking through AI, how you do a transaction operations. The transaction operations, again, you have a relationship manager at the bank. Again, there is a customer, new to bank, corporate treasurer, financial controller. So these are there. Then you have a bank staff. Then you have a contextual thing. You ingest, you classify, you extract, you create a trusted data, you make an agent, reasoning, agent network, decision, and data visualization. You move from document extraction to data search validation, unstructured to natural language. Then you have a trade document, sanction data, escrow. You have data search and validation, unstructured natural language to structured data, data repair. Then you may look at it structured to natural language. Because when we are communicating with a person, you have to convert structured knowledge to the natural language. And then you have to move structure to insights language. So it's a set of, again, 20 different agents which is there. I would like to highlight each agent we benchmark on LLM. In some of the expert cases, we are using 6 LLMs for 15 agents. Every month we do the estimate the cost for the agent, and we find cost comes down, or there is a better agent available which can deliver better result to me. This is a kind of a digital expert for wealth management system. You start from acquiring the customer, onboarding the customer, nurturing the customer, servicing the customer. These are the agents which is for campaign, this is for prospect management, this is for due diligence, this is for triaging, this is for KYC, this is for credit approval, account opening, onboarding. Then you have a commission and transaction, then complaint, this is retention, sentiment analysis, complaint management, compliance check, claim assistant, upsell, customer support, and product renewal. This is, we are working live in a UK, one of the largest wealth operation called St. James Place. It's operating there. It's not a dream we are selling. These are live in Europe. As per Europe understanding of security and governance of AI, as per the norms of the AI norms, which is defined by UK governance, which is much stricter. Today, SEBI is doing it, and we are doing, RBI is planning to do it, but still has not come into picture. UK laws are still in place. Similarly, for technology operation, I already described about it. I'll not go again on it. This is my knowledge garden, which I described in the first element. Now I come to the third tech stack, which is enterprise governance tech stack. What does the governance means? Concept one is traceability and explainability. We are recording when agents are thinking. We are recording where agent one say, I am thinking like this. Do I do this way? I am recording and creating a traceability of entire audit trail. So if the 10 agents are working, I have an audit trail for the 10 agents. It's an overhead, but it's important for bank to have this overhead of traceability and explainability. Why agent has thought that way and did that way. It's not just the results are there. structured distribution of knowledge to concept of workspaces. So we look at it workspaces. This is a workspace for a particular operation. So we have a tenant and workspace. So workspace is a area which can work with the lending operation. If you want to separate how many workspaces you have to create in an organization, you can create number of workspaces to define this is for treasury operation, this is for trade operation, this is for, and within credit operation you may have 3 spaces. First is onboarding, on origination, underwriting, validation, delinquency. Each one has a separate workspace. Concept 3 is entitlement of experts and LLM. I need to have a common entitlement engine the way you have entitlement for other software programs. You need a similar entitlement. They are the principles we have used. The RBI has free AI, free.ai, framework for ethical and efficient AI. That's what they have published. There are 10 principles which are complying to this. SEBI is saying responsible or AI ML, AI playbook. We look at AI playbook for UK government, NIST, RMF playbook, US Department of Commerce, EU AI Act, different tools of different risk level, AI and Data Act, and AI strategy for federal public services. So these are the 6 standards we looked at it before defining the enterprise governance. Then I'm looking for LLM optimization hub. It does benchmarking and metering. It does a metering. For this use case, you spend X amount, 10 cents or 5 cents is being metered. You can get a meter of LLM. On the 4 element when we do the benchmarking, cost, accuracy, speed, and throughput. We call CAST when I'm choosing LLM. So each time I'm giving a benchmarking report and I put side by side, I do a CAST on it. CAST for each LLM depends on a specific use case. LLM cost needs to be monitored on a monthly basis, not one time. Because costs are coming down and better LLMs are coming each time. So you need to have an open LLM system, not wedded to one vendor for LLM. When somebody says, can I have a bank LLM? There's no need for that. This is a question which is people are asking, can I have my own LLM? How you keep on investing into upgrading the capability of LLM, you need to have a LLM. Your data is going to LLM, you have the fear that your data is going to LLM is a false fear because you are sending a chunking data to the LLM which is not interpretable as a full data. So in this area, this selection, metering, and benchmarking are the 3 critical areas in this role. Today, most of the people doesn't have, they've either wedded to Google or wedded to Microsoft or wedded to AWS. It's a hierarchy to wed to any one of them as an independent software vendor, and that's why the system open business impact AI. When we put an ad, you're saying it's an open business impact AI. Now this is the underlying architecture which is as complex as, I'll not bore you with explaining this, what 217 technology we built on it. This is a multi-layer architecture which has gone in designing the entire Purple Fabric as a product. Now this is a layer which is on the top of this chart, this book. Important point is most of the time we are working in this area, multi-agent orchestration, or somewhere here. We are forgetting about everything else. So many initiatives in the bank are operating in this much area. When we discuss with the bank, and every bank says, oh, I am working on it. What is the need of Purple Fabric? I'm saying, it's your choice. We are not overselling your element, but we are demonstrating that this is not these 4 pieces or these 8 pieces are only agentic one. It's not even expert one. And this is remaining a co-pilot model before getting into these areas. At this point of time, I want to, if any major questions are there, then I would move to the actual demonstrating this technology, working technology to you. I'll invite my colleagues to demonstrate the capability. I'll just hold on for 5 minutes to see what questions are coming up. It's too much of a text, too much of a new concept. Give me a mic. Implemented in Indian banks, we launched recently in Indian banks. We want to come first UK bank validate. We launched in US 3 years back. We launched in UK 2 years back. We were not sure whether Indian banks are ready for AI. And it's launched in India. If you trust US implementation and if you trust UK implementation, India is our home market. We can implement better and we need partners to implement along with us. SIs can implement. The learning process on Purple Fabric is very, very simple. In our Intellect, we have 1,600 people who are working on Purple Fabric and they are using as a augmented manager. They are improving the capacity of their own working as a manager using Purple Fabric. So it's like using the Excel sheet. The way you learned first time Excel sheet, it becomes difficult. I would like you to attend a boot camp where you do your own agent creation. When you do with your own hands, and I would like business manager to do that work, not given to IT department. Because imagination of a business manager and ops manager is different from a IT manager. And Purple Fabric enables you to do that particular work. And just to answer your question, Indian bank, we are working with multiple Indian bank on POC. They are still validating. We only launched in India on 26th of May. It's a 4-week-old phenomena where we launched in India. We validated that whether our Purple Fabric is complying to US and UK. US took me 5 years to validate all the standards of ethical AI, responsible AI has been proven when 45 clients happen in UK, US. Then we move to UK where we have largest Swedish bank, Norwegian, and you must be knowing any investment banker is, it has a 1.8 trillion Norwegian bank, which is the largest sovereign fund. If they are working on this with 9,000 companies, which will just show you, you don't need a third reference. There is the largest wealth bank which is operating. Today it's being sold to 2 largest banks on the high street in London because we launched only 1 year back in UK.
Yeah, hi, this is Ritesh from Flexi Loans. Since you covered that this system covers all the InfoSec related requirements, so is it important to host LLM on your own cloud? And if yes, how do you manage multiple versions of LLMs? As you said, that there are so many LLMs and you can connect based on the use case. So what's your view on this particular part?
This is a fear of unknown. LLM cannot be hosted by a bank on their own environment. You will be limited by one LLM.
Yes.
All the research which is happening in the world you'll not able to leverage that. Every time you can't upgrade those LLMs, it will be one-time job for it. I will recommend strongly against it. Your fear of unknown that your data is getting outside LLMs is not really valid. This is going in chunks. The data which is going to LLM is in chunk form. It's not going as a structured form of a data. So that fear of unknown, you will be losing out everything if you are saying, host it for me.
If I can ask a follow-up.
Yeah, sure.
If the data is being sent in chunks, but that LLM can use, like in the next version, to use the same data for its own training, right?
How does it matter to you? You want to be your efficiency or you want LLM efficiency? Why we are worried about whether LLM is learning from you or not? It's okay, that will be there. That's how the knowledge of the world happens. When a person from bank A goes to bank B, he takes a bank A knowledge to bank B. How do you stop that knowledge to take away? When anybody who leave Intellect and join Infosys, he takes my knowledge there. So what's the fear of that knowledge to be gone? Can Infosys replicate Intellect? No. Just by chunking knowledge of one person who leave Intellect and join Infosys, can Infosys build Purple Fabric based on one person knowledge? One chunking data will not build the knowledge for them. That's my view. There can be different views, so I don't want to, but as a strong proponent that LLM should change every month. I'm saying you can change the LLM every month. Now, if bank is sitting in 2025 LLM, in 2028 you are obsolete here. You are designing for obsolete AI.
I do agree on that, but if you look it from other prospect, like when we're trying to find out the fraud, right, in real time, I think is one of the component of the fabric as well. In the real time scenario, we're trying to find out whether the transaction is a fraud or not. We're feeding something to the LLM, and every transaction, if we're feeding to the LLM, if we're hosting in the cloud, somewhere the bank has a sentimental, this is not right, right? And every country have their regularity. The data should not go outside of the geography. In that case, how we will handle that if it's always in a cloud?
And definitely that's a challenge. Some of the LLMs now will be hosted in India. So we will be talking to the clouds where some of the LLMs, we can use at least 4 or 5 LLMs which are hosted in India. So data privacy can be there in those LLMs which are hosted in India. And some of the non-critical data can be on, so we can have some LLMs which are inside the bank also. We can still choose 1 or 2 LLMs which are within the hosted environment which doesn't require so much variability, and I can keep my own LLM. So I have to choice that I have an in-house LLM, I have an India-based LLM, and I can have a global LLM. So Salesforce or Microsoft Copilot will be using a global LLMs. They will not host all the LLMs in India, but some of them at some point of time you can insist as a bank to host in India for data privacy. RBI will do similar hosting.
Yeah. So in that case, we need to look at how the performance coming out, right? If you're hosting in some LLM in on-prem and some LLM in cloud, because we can't host all the LLM in on-prem, right? Because 270 plus, you're saying that nearly, right, technology. Then I think for the real fraud one, because I'm coming with one of the problem statement, the fraud analysis should be in a real time and should be within a millisecond, right? You should be understand and stop the fraud. And that's what today bank is looking, especially in Africa. In Africa region, there are so many fraud is happening. And they looking very much trying to understand how they can stop those frauds. So that is a problem statement, right? And we're struggling to find out in a millisecond if we can find out that particular transaction before releasing the money to that destination account, right? It should be stopped because it's a fraud. So I think that's a major challenge which we are getting. I might be coming to the low-level discussion, but
you are asking the right question, and it's a valid question. Today, bank with the API's forest has more vulnerability than AI LLM models. I cannot reconstruct LLM to the customer. API can construct everything. Now, you are sitting with the vulnerabilities of APIs, which is not structured. LLM is a one-side flow. I'm sending some knowledge and some questions to the LLM. That's not reconstructible vice versa because I'm sending in chunks. Right. So I'm not creating a reverse algorithm because it sits in a 50-layer architecture of neural networks where your chunking is sitting there. I think this is a fear of unknown. When internet banking came in 1995, people say if I create all the products on website, my knowledge will go away. Today, all the banks put their all the product details on a website. It's a requirement. Every product is listed on a website. Every policy is put on a website. If the same dialogue happened in 1998, and I was talking in a similar hall 25 years back, I had the same questions. That I should not put on website because I'm sharing my knowledge on my website, my product knowledge on a website. Today it's essential for every bank to put all the details of the website on it.
Let's say a bank might fear, let's say I have my own well-defined credit policy. Suppose I publish that into a LLM. I mean, I will lose my confidential data.
No, that is, we are proposing all the enterprise knowledge garden should be sitting in a bank premises or bank private cloud. Okay. We are recommending, I'll come to deployment model. We have 2 deployment model, either on PF cloud, Purple Fabric cloud, or bank own, and we are recommending bank to own enterprise knowledge garden in their private cloud. They can choose AWS or Azure, any one of them they can choose, but it's a private cloud, not a public cloud. Their enterprise knowledge we don't want to share anybody. So we are not vectorizing the knowledge in LLM. We are proposing bank to own enterprise knowledge garden in their control, 100% in control.
That is the biggest fear the bank has
That
currently.
we are solving.
Okay.
I'm solving when we are using LLM to take some reasoning and decisioning. That time a data has to go out in a reasoning method. You're taking a chunk from that enterprise knowledge garden and creating you are asking an agent is consulting a particular Bedrock or OpenAI. That is the time a small piece is going out. But your full knowledge is, we are strongly recommending you must have your private cloud on which enterprise knowledge garden should be there. Bank policies, processes, guardrails, and your all the tacit knowledge, like all the minutes of meeting with the customer, should come back into your knowledge garden to create a knowledge garden. And those minutes of meeting which is there, which is written in emails, I should have a connection to curate and make your, so when we started this next demo, we are giving 15 million documents. We started with 100,000 documents. Today it becomes 15 million because each document, when you conduct a meeting with your customer, relationship manager conduct a meeting with the customer, you should go to that customer, you should vectorize over there, and that knowledge should not be sitting in LLM. So good you asked this question. I didn't clarify enough that enterprise knowledge is safe in your private cloud. Yeah.
I have one question.
Thank you.
I was using Copilot. So before using, I had a lot of doubts in thinking that if I upload my document to it, will it absorb the data? It will start using my data and all. So I started asking the questions, will you use my data? What will happen to my data? The reply was that it said it will only process it locally and it will not use it at all. It will be deleted immediately like that. So if a Copilot itself is acting like that, when you're talking about LLMs across, have you not fabricated in that particular manner that, okay, if I'm doing something into that system, it is only to the local. I use all the program, whatever you're doing on at that level, and you don't take my information out of the system. I hope I'm able to.
Yeah, it's there, but some pieces goes outside, so it's okay. They are promising something, but to me, when I have to do something back to outside, when I'm touching LLM which is sitting in US, I will be sending some chunks. Those chunks may not be valuable for him. Those chunks will be questions which will go out. The chunks will go out in some shape and form, but those chunks are not really material chunks. You delete the material chunks. You can design an algorithm where you can delete the material chunks before you are sending to LLM or after coming back for LLM, I can delete it. Those algorithms are built in enterprise governance with us.
Any example of the chunk, with the chunk at the side?
We'll just show you chunking methodology. So let's give it to, I invite Vimlendu to look at it, this enterprise knowledge garden. And then we have a second round of questions on, once you see it, how these agents are working, then you will have a better understanding of how to go about it. And that's why this is just a masterclass. We need a boot camp also for you to explain. So go ahead, Vimlendu.
Yeah, just 2 minutes out.
This is a use case, Vimlendu. So this is a company which I was mentioning, NBIM, has got 9,000 company database, 15 million documents. It's using for risk prediction, reporting, compliance, and impact assessment. They are using for non-financial knowledge. Financial knowledge is available with many people, but this is being used for the financial knowledge, which is the first business impact AI case. Are you facing some problem, Hitesh?
The network was very slow, so we're changing the network.
We're changing the network, okay. I'll just take it how you will be looking for banking operation. We have a next demo on banking operations before they are changing the network. This is a kind of a area which Vimlendu will take you through. Speed to value, cost to serve, reduction in ops incidents. It will start from payment of expert agent, human in the loop, query classification, data retrieval, API, analyze data, identify anomalies, recommendation, explanation and visualization, reports and videos. So this is, if you look at it, this is a payment system sitting there. This is a payment data mart. So what our digital expert has the ability to consume in a very secured manner bank data warehouse or data applications. So we connect to your Finistra, Finacle, FlexCube. If you have those structures and underlying structures, so I will pick up data from any one of them directly to the API, and I will be using knowledge garden from knowledge as a service, and both of them I combine together to define the right operations. So I have written a technology called data to knowledge bridge. So all the questions are in natural language. So whenever operation guy will ask a question to this expert, it will be natural language. Now I need to convert that this question will translate into this SQL statement. So what SQL statement should be designed to retrieve a data from a database? I have a NL2 schema, and schemas of your data schemas are also encoded there, which creates my data to knowledge bridge. So the two rivers, which is the knowledge river and the knowledge side and the data side, it connected to this bridge called DTK bridge, data to knowledge bridge. Similarly, when I need to communicate back to the customer, I need to again translate into natural language. So there are two bridges which are required for transferring the knowledge back into the system there. Is there? Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Arun. So before we get started with the actual Purple Fabric demos, I just wanted all of you to get a feel of what the platform is all about, how it helps you to create the enterprise knowledge garden, how digital experts are going to be created, how does all the components, how do they convene, how do they fit in. So I just will scratch the surface for 5 minutes. This is not a Purple Fabric Academia course, but you will get a feel of what the platform is all about. So right now, what you're seeing is our expert agent studio, right? These are all the options that you see that the platform is offering right now. I'm at the expert agent studio tab, wherein all my agents, and I'm using the word agents here, and digital experts. We want to clearly separate digital expert from agents. I think Arun brought that point out very beautifully. Agents, they just have one task, one goal, right? Or maybe multiple goals if it's a compound agent, right? And they work autonomously. Whereas digital experts are actual experts, actual digital twins who can think like us, who apply the skills and who apply the knowledge to solve a particular objective or to arrive at a particular objective, right? So here you see any agent that you want to create, you can just, or digital expert you want to create, you can go and build. If it's a Gen AI agent or a classic agent, you decide. I say it's a Gen AI agent, then we have different agent categories, right? Whether you want one single agent created, which would be an atomic agent, right? If you want a team of agents to collaborate together, that will be a multi-agent setup. Or if you want some kind of a workflow to come into action, right? Now, what is workflow and how is it different from this? The second one, remember, it's a React digital expert. What is React? React stands for reasoning and action, which means a group of agents coming together wherein each agent will reason out its objective, will reason out the input parameters, will reason out the output that it's getting, and then so forth and so on, it will move on, right? So you let's say I choose this agent, a simple agent. I give my name, right? Let's say test, something like that. Some description. Okay? And how would you want to interact? Or how would you want this agent to behave? Do you want it to be conversational in nature, like you have, let's say, chat GPTs or various other conversational GPTs that you can build, or you want this to behave in an automated fashion? What is the difference? The automated agent, what it does is, it executes the set of instructions that you have given it, and you can call it as an API. And that's one of the aspects that we are going to touch upon in one of the demos that we're going to show you. But that's the beauty of the platform, right? The composability aspect that Arun a while ago was talking about, that is where automation agents will come in, right? Any aspect that you want to be achieved, you can actually stitch that I want this agent to be called, I want this tool to be called, I want this API to be called, and you can stitch everything together, and that's what will make a digital expert for you, right? So you can just decide, you can choose, right? If you want to make it private or public. Now, if you see carefully here on the left-hand side, we are at the base workspace, right? What is base workspace? And I think Arun hinted on this a while back. What are workspaces? Workspaces are, let's say, virtual categories where you decide the type of digital experts can reside. Moreover, you can even govern that workspace and decide which personnels or which personas will have access to that specific workspace. So any default digital expert or agent that you create, by default, it goes into the base workspace. And whatever you create, you can just go in like this. Say this is a conversational agent, right? And you can just start your queries. Or if it's an automation agent, you can just go to the govern aspect and expose it as an API, right? Then there is Enterprise Knowledge Garden. Now this is the key, right? Digital experts and Enterprise Knowledge Garden. Now, I think Arun touched upon the concept of knowledge, right? And how it's made up of skills, it's made up of perspective, right? And it's also made up of some of the behaviors, right? But remember, we also need to distinguish between what's data, what's information, and what's knowledge. We are not here to create a data swamp. Remember that. We clearly need to understand what is knowledge. That I am in Mumbai, there are temperatures around 25 degrees Celsius, 27 degrees Celsius, 29 degrees Celsius. These are some temperatures. This is data. That the temperature is 28 degree or 32 degrees Celsius during the month of July is information, right? And that this temperature allows me to think of, let's say, I should be carrying a raincoat, or maybe it is the right time to buy an AC because nobody buys AC at this time. So what do you do with that information? What insights you derive out of it and how you act upon it, actionable insights, that is the definition of knowledge, right? So, in essence, you need to be very careful of what you are putting into the EKG, and which is why what Arun said, the concept of knowledge reviewer, knowledge architect, that comes into play, right? So you can create an EKG, just give it some name, right? Let's say, okay? Again, whether you want to make it private or public, and you get something like this, right? you, just hold on, you can add files to this EKG or unstructured information or knowledge into this EKG by clicking your button straight over here. Now there are some options at the top. I will touch upon these options when I show you the demo that we have done or curated for you, right? Bottom line is you can create your knowledge, you can create your garden. Why the term garden? Remember that this is not some piece of information that is dumped somewhere for you to refer. This piece of information, it keeps on getting enriched. There is a reason why Arun chose the word garden. Why? Because it's constantly enriched, it's constantly curated, right? And that's why it's of essence, right? The day this concept was given to me, right, when Arun brought this term EKG, I was wondering, nobody is stopping me from creating an agent, right? And I don't know how many of you are aware of the concept of RAG, right? RAG is essentially you give some knowledge or some scoped context to an agent and you ask the agent, hey, take this, here is my question, tell me what do you see, right? Essentially that's RAG. What that was doing was your data, your knowledge was becoming a subset of your agent, right? Whereas with EKG, what you are doing is you are realizing the importance of knowledge, you are taking it out of the agent, you're bringing it right there at the top, and you're saying, here is my knowledge. You are telling the agent, I will tell you, you can refer to all this knowledge. Based on the context that I provide, I need you to decide which EKG to go into and what knowledge to fetch. I think this fundamentally changed everything for me. Not because this is our product. You think of it, I for one personally believe that for the first time, knowledge in an enterprise has been given first-class status. Knowledge was never given that. Knowledge was there, but it was residing in pockets, in project teams, in product teams. This is a fundamental paradigm shift, and that's what makes the EKG concept so powerful, right? All the knowledge that is residing in your various line of businesses or units, you are putting at the enterprise level, you're making it available for the enterprise, and then your digital expert, and I'm not saying agents, digital expert who can think like you, who have skills like you, and who know how to apply that knowledge, they act on your behalf and get the data, right? Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then you have some tools. Instead of agents and digital experts, you can actually create quick APIs or any other custom tool that you want to create, right? So your digital expert can actually be a combination of some of your agents, some APIs, some specific Python scripts or something that you want to bring together, integrate together, and call it a digital expert. That's what you can do here, right? Your governance aspect, entitlements, right? Expose it as an API. Your admin aspect, right? We have connectors, ready-made connectors to various enterprise systems, Confluence, Jira, Google Drive, you name it, the connectors are there. So you don't need to go there and get the information or knowledge into EKG. You can straight away apply these connectors and get the information right away from there. And obviously human in the loop aspects, some use cases mandate that there is a human in the loop aspect, and that can also be brought in here. So this in a nutshell is a platform at a very high level. Let me start the demo straight away for paucity of time. Okay, now this use case that you're seeing is actually live, yeah? One of our customers, a sovereign wealth fund, is actually using Purple Fabric platform, And it's what we helped.
I think I explained it earlier, so this is the same case. Just give a
Yeah,
demo.
yeah. Arun touched upon this, right? Yeah. Now, can you imagine this is a non-financial organization, right? To be able to get valid ESG data, right, which is non-financial data. There, traditionally there are SMEs. SMEs with respect to what? With respect to, let's say, water management, with respect to taxes, with respect to child rights, right? And each SME is expected to go and dig information and provide that information. And for all you know, they will come back with some information which is faulty or something you don't buy that, right? Now, as opposed to this, what you have right now, and let me go back here, let's say, oh, there is a filter. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. So you see, I've created the EKG for this client. And remember the scale that Arun spoke about, right? The scale is massive, 15 million documents, right? 9,000 plus companies. Can you imagine that scale, right? What if you have a digital expert who can do this job within minutes for you, right? That's the assets. That's the scale that I'm talking about. Here, what I've done is I have put in all the knowledge in my EKG, right? And this is the fundamental difference between the agents that you've been creating on other platforms and Purple Fabric. You see, I can actually test my knowledge garden right here, right now, without even LLMs coming into picture. No monetization cost for you. I just want to make sure that if I have to search my EKG across 15 million documents, can I get the right data? So let me just show it to you. Let's say, I'll just do a retrieval test. Yeah. You see what just happened? It went through all the chunks, right? And what it did was, wherever it found the relevant chunk, remember, here chunk is not text comparison. It is semantic lifting of chunks. What do you mean by semantic? Semantic means similar in meaning, right? Stop, not moving, sound same, right? So that's what it is doing, and that's the difference between getting chunks at RAG versus getting chunks at retrieval time, right? That's one of the advantages. Let me quickly go to the digital expert here. I think it's Arya. Yeah. So I can start a new chat. Okay. Now this is a digital expert that I have already created, and what Arya is doing is it's actually pointing to the same knowledge garden that I have created. Okay. And I'll ask Arya some pertinent questions so that you can see what's happening. Yeah. Let's say I'll ask about Unilever. Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost, you see various agents coming into action. The moment I type in a natural language query, you see various agents coming into action, right? And obviously, I have been given some response. The question was, what are the near-term GHG reduction targets for the company Unilever? So it actually scanned through my chunks, through my knowledge garden, and what it got was this information. Now, two aspects that I want to bring to your attention. You see, if I click on this, this is not the information that you're seeing on screen is not something that we went onto the net and crawled for it. No. What you see is for real, and this is the power of the platform. Okay? it actually points or references to the areas where it found the materials based on which it has given me a response. You see, there are around 53 chunks, and it's actually pointing me to the right place based on which it has responded. So what you have in place here is, you have traceability built in, you have explainability built in, right? So that's one I wanted to touch upon quickly. Another aspect is, wait, hold on. I think I closed it. And then let me try the second question, which is emission comparison, right, between two companies. Again, you see I'm comparing emission comparison between Unilever and Nestle, right? One point that I wanted to bring to your attention. At no point in the entire execution am I going to the internet. I'm not. Okay? I'm not going to the internet. All of the data is within my enterprise knowledge garden, and my digital expert knows that, right? So that's how the comparison is between these two, and that's how the insights are based upon, right? And another aspect that I want to bring it to your attention, so it is not just ChatGPT-like question and answer that actually makes this digital expert an expert. What truly makes it an expert is it is capable of giving me a report of all the companies, their portfolio value, how is the company doing, right? Everything in the form of a report. Let me show you for Unilever an executive summary. Track record, current priorities, key matrices. These are the data which is very difficult to fit in. You cannot possibly fathom the difficulty or the crazy time spent to get this data if it was not for digital expert. Remember, this is augmented assist. This is not co-pilot assist. This is different, right? So that's the fundamental difference I wanted to touch upon. I think we're short on time, so if there are any major questions, I can take them, and then I can move on to the next. Later on? Okay, fair enough. Okay. Next, I'll move to the next one, which is my payment ops. Hold on. I'll show it here.
That is optimized cost. This would have costed $2 million comfortably with anybody else if you have not optimized the science of knowledge garden, science of agents, science of benchmarking, science of governance. Easily, it will go $2 million minimum. For 15 million documents comparing Nestle with Unilever, if any investment banker is sitting here, if you have to compare company A to company B on various models, company A, B, and C, if you're comparing your products of HDFC Bank with ICICI Bank to Bandhan Bank to any other Axis Bank, all are a peanut cost compared to that because optimization is there. So LLM optimization is something which, as of now, people have not even thought about it. Now, if you show the metering bill, today we can't. You have a metering bill that this query takes this much seconds. Like a statement of account, you get a credit card statement, you can get a benchmarking of LLM. The meter bill, it runs into a few pages on metering bill. So, if you don't address from first principle thinking, the cost of AI is at least 7 to 10x. If you don't design properly, it's as bad as that. So in the beginning, I said right design and right engineering. This is a critical piece. Yeah. Yeah. We want LLM cost to be borne by the bank themselves.
Yeah.
So when we sell the platform, we say you have your own private cloud. Take a private cloud. Take MongoDB. Take like infrastructure you take.
Yeah.
Anything you take as infrastructure, it goes into procurement department. Who will buy Oracle? Who will buy me JBoss who will buy me middleware, who buys me hardware, CPU cost, that's a bank cost. I don't want to interfere.
So data lake cost and all will be borne by them.
Yeah, it will be borne by them. Now, finally, I wanted to announce it later on that we want to make it Purple Fabric democratizing in India. We want to give it free to, license free to everybody.
Like open source, like
open
OGO.
system, and will be, for managing the system, will be using sim like JBoss kind of a technology, which is $8,000 per core for 2 virtual CPU per year. That also per year, not per month. So it's a kind of a democratization that when you look at AI requires a lot of investment and people are asking it's a multi-million-dollar investment. We are saying you just have to have one server, 64 cores to install Purple Fabric, and you install Purple Fabric in your own bank and you take care of it. Your IT department can take care of it. We are not bothered how much LLM. We will help you in optimizing the LLM cost. But after that, it's a bank decision and discretion of IT department, and IT department should build their own agents. I'm giving agent studio, they can build their own agents on it. I will, if you want to buy a digital expert fully for me, I have a ready-made experts. Those are like sold like a product. If you want a full trade operations, you want credit operation, that I'm selling as a product. So accelerating your journey, if you want to build on a platform, it's an infrastructure. Then you want to use set of digital experts, each area. Then I can have a price for that digital expert and implementation. The way any other products are sold, it has some license value and it has some implementation value.
So as a partner, how can we go out and give demo to banks or NBFCs or any financial institution?
As a partner, we need a partners because it's required for all the banks in India. Everybody needs it, and it's a platform. It's first time in India. It's not in India. It's the first time in world. We say world first open AI, being business impact AI platform. As of now, Palantir is the only company which has done something similar to this. Palantir license is a $3 million to $10 million per year. Just the license cost.
No, this is absolutely absolutely great. I mean, what you have done and what you have showcased. I mean, I think every financial institution, large or mid-size, are looking for something like this. And they don't even have a holistic view which you have showcased. None of them has a holistic view. And all of them has a fear of that my data goes into the AI world. And how do I protect it? So these are some of the challenges.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now this is a payment operation expert agent. Just look at payment operation. It's very interesting payment operation. Explain, Vimalendra.
Correct, yeah. So this is more so from the operations standpoint. I'm just taking payments as one of the examples, but essentially the same model can be applied to any domain. Trade, treasury, collections, you just name it and you can apply to any lens. Now I'm an operations manager, right? And obviously error transactions which are erroring out frequently is an area of concern for me. What did I do? I asked my digital expert, can you analyze the error rates for this week? Okay. Now obviously this digital expert knows what it did is it understood the natural language, my question, it understood the intent, right? And then it knew what it had to do. It went into corresponding agents and it asked for an answer, and that's what it is replying. So what it is doing is it gave me an answer that yes, there are some errors, and here's where I want you to look at traceability, right? How the agent deciphered or arrived at the conclusion, what it arrived at, that traceability is provided by the platform. So first, my agent, it took this question, see the logic. The agent is saying, I first need to check if it is a database query or a normal chat. It's trying to understand the intent, right? And then get SQL. Then it knows, oh, this is a proper database query like inquiry. It calls NL to SQL agent accordingly. And what does the NL to SQL agent does? It gives this big SQL. How does the NL to SQL know this? How does it know that I have to create this SQL? This is not hard coding. What I have done is, in the background, in my EKG, I have actually taken my schema and I have put it into the EKG. I have wired my NL2 SQL agent, not digital expert. I have wired it to my EKG, and based on my query, it went into the EKG, it understood what metadata and tags to apply for, get the needed SQL schema, and it exactly knew, bam, this is the SQL that has to be constructed, and based on my instructions, it came back with such a huge SQL. Can you beat that? That's the power of this platform, right? Now, a little down, right? I asked a very slangish, if I can use that term, slangish kind of question. What's up in production? I'm an operations manager. I just want to know what's happening on my production server. Okay. I did not say anything else, but look at the smartness of this digital expert. It understood the intent. First, what it does is, it gives me payment status-wise details. It knows that I have asked a very broad level question. It says, yes, there are some transactions in pending auth. There are some transactions which has been rejected. There are some transactions with debit failed, all these statuses. It is kind enough to give me a visual representation. Remember, I did not ask for it. But the digital expert decides whether a particular question mandates or warrants a visual display, yes or no. Okay? It got me a nice display for me to understand properly. But all of you pay attention to this section. This is where I need your attention. You see, the agent found something which would have taken me quite a few effort, maybe a couple or 3 or 4 days to find this anomaly. Generally, in operations department, I will go to some IT guy, fire some query and see, get the discrepancies. And for all you know, that guy might fire a faulty query. You might get some faulty response. But without me telling the agent that when you are getting me the response, the kind of insights that I'm looking for, the agent understood it is my moral obligation to tell this guy that, hey, I found some anomalies, please pay attention to it, right? Okay, so it went into it, it gave me an expected versus actual analysis, and it gave me recommendations as well, right? This is the first lens, right? Then it gave me customer-wise detail, this is the second lens, right? And the same thing, it's finding wherever discrepancies are being found, it's bringing it to my attention. Now, very quickly, I just wanted to touch upon one more aspect. This is what Arun touched upon. The same agent, okay, the same agent which I was showing you in Purple Fabric platform, for the same agent, I have now exposed it as an API, okay. Why? Because I now want to have a different head on top of that digital expert. And this is the beauty of this platform. So I have made this UI, which is very much ChatGPT or Perplexity-like. That same agent is doing the same job that I asked over there, but in a much more nice visual fashion, because I wanted a nice head attached to it. I think that should summate it for you, the capabilities of this payment operations expert agent. So,
thank you, Vimlendu, for this operation. This is a kind of a detailing. You have observed the seconds, 8.45 seconds. We have monitoring at that level on how much time it consumes. There are something we want to see. It will share 8.45 seconds, 0.01 cents. You can calculate the cent and it will tell you the value of the one problem resolution which is there. So it's up to that minutest level which is there. So when you attend the boot camp, we can show it. Otherwise, you'll have a lunch, dinner time is there. Similarly, now we are looking trade finance as an operation. Just quickly, 7 minutes for you. Raju.
This is an injustice when you come last, right? Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Raju Singha and I head the trade product for Intellect Design Arena. And having been a trade practitioner for more than 2 decades, and most of you would know that trade is one subject or one business which is document intensive, and obviously a lot of regulations out there. So the way we are redefining or thinking trade as a business for Intellect is we want to redefine the entire gamut of our business through customer onboarding, transaction processing, and transaction insights. So if you look at the digital experts that we have on onboarding, then you will have digital experts on transaction processing, and then the digital experts on transaction insights. So these are at a very high level that we are transaction insights. So these are at a very high level, the experts that we have today. But since I have only 7 minutes, so I will directly go to 3 digital experts. One is LC initiation, the next one is your TBML and compliance, and the last one is LC document scrutiny. Now, all of these agents, or the experts, if you are looking at, you will know from, if you can turn on this. So what we have done is, we have taken this problem statement and we have used this problem statement and using purple fabric and iTurmeric, we have created this entire digital experts for you. So as you know, trade, again, is a highly document-intensive process. It always happens. I need the, where is our, the net is gone. Internet is gone. Where is Vignesh? Whatever you did last time, please.
Laptop?
Yeah, let's connect it here. We have,
Where is the Wi-Fi?
No, I'm taking with this phone.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So this is our platform that we have built for trade operations. Now, as you know, trade operations, you would have documents which can be uploaded over here as a part of the process. Now, we currently have around 500 MB documents that can be uploaded. It can come from your application. It can come from your front office that you are facing, your customer-facing front office. All of them are possible. So what I'll do is, just for an example, I'll take a doc presentation. While this gets processed, so what will happen, it will take all these data points and it will start processing. While this happens, moment. Let me switch on the other window.
Is that the entire trade operations is there, you can apply on existing software. You can call it as a API in Finestra or Finacle, you have a trade finance system from any of them. You can just apply this API's call on that. So it's not necessary that you are having you have to buy the full trade finance from Intellect. You can just use this digital experts on your existing system, because there are only single calls which is there. We are saying, if you give me UAT environment, I can plug in my digital expert in 2 weeks. All API calls, we have a Turmeric as a platform which manages the APIs, and in 2 weeks time, we can demonstrate on your own UAT database. I'm not talking about POC. I'm removing the word POC and pilots. I'm saying go directly to UAT environment and test it out and demonstrate to your doubters in a company. Every bank has the doubters.
So the document that we uploaded is now here. It's sitting in the classification stage, which means it has come, the system has automatically classified all this document. And as I said, we are trade practitioners. We know what are the challenges that human being will have while doing this. So we have given them, if you want to change the order, you want to drag and drop, and you think that this is not the right document, you can change it yourself. You can also add a document type that you want to add as a part of this process. And the best part is, if you are not happy, you can do a reclassification all over again, which will again redo the same aspect what you have seen. Currently, we support all the 36 ICC recommended documents. And once this is done, what would happen is, as a part of your transaction, it will go to the extraction stage. As a cookery show, I have kept all of them ready so that I don't spend too much of a time on going through that. Okay. So now the best part of extraction is it extracts everything from your documents that we have. And there are some salient features as we move ahead, we know that the trade operations will need. So for example, I want to know where this data got extracted. So if I click on this, it immediately takes me to the place from where it got extracted. This is the last 2%, which Arun keeps telling gives 200% output. Now, in case one of the data point is not extracted, so what do we do then in that case? And we want to extract it. So for example, this is not there, and I want to extract it. So what do? I go and just do a rubber banding over there, and that data gets directly into the field from where I wanted this. It also gives you extraction accuracy, which the LLM has done. The best part of this platform is, and again, having done this for a few years now, today when you go to a bank, you have to do training. So there are thousands of documents that you will need to train your model. This comes pre-trained with all the ICC recommended documents. So for you, it's a direct go live, and you don't need to spend time to train them all over again. And that's the biggest challenge which banks have today, because every time they go to one market to another market, document structure change, and they need to do this entire training process all over again. Okay. So now once we have done that, what would happen is we do the review process from here. And now this was my LC initiation digital expert. Now we'll go into the compliance and TVML digital expert. Now, given that trade is a highly regulated, and every central government and regulatory bodies are always on trade finance transaction, how are you processing? And what we found is one of the biggest roadblock or challenges that trade banks have today is their sanction screening. On an average, you would have 70% false positives. And that's the biggest challenge, because you spend so much of time and so much of money, because every time you hit whatever enterprise sanction screening platform you have to pay for that. So we found out what's the root cause of it. The root cause is garbage goes in and garbage goes out. So how can we clean this garbage and give you something which is more meaningful? So what we did is we actually segmented all the data in buckets, or we call it category. Like you have entity category, you have place category, you have goods description category, and then deduplicate them across those categories. Like in trade, an applicant name will appear at least 20 times in all the documents. So we want to send only once, not 20 times. So this effectively reduces your false positive by at least 50%, and we have seen this proven in the banking industry. And the next part is your TBML, which is trade-based money laundering. Here, what we have configured for is high-risk jurisdiction, dual-use goods, and high-risk goods. Again, these are what we have configured for, but in our platform, Purple Fabric, we have invoice high, what you call it, fair price check. We have military use. We have related party transactions. So all of them are already configured. You just need to link through an API. And the biggest challenge today trade banks have, this policies keeps changing almost every month. And here the advantage is you directly need to update the knowledge garden, and your changes takes place by default. So that's the compliance and digital part. And the last one, I'll just go and give you a quick look at it, which is the recommendations or document examination. So for document examination, what we have is we have a digital expert which takes around 25 digital agents behind it. And the knowledge garden that we have is, you have UCP, you have ISBP, and you have our own knowledge that we have developed over the time entered into this knowledge garden. Now using this, it will give you the discrepancies against the LCs and the documents that were presented. Now, I'll give you a quick example of a few of them. So let's look at this. Okay, so moment I click on that discrepancy, what happens, it immediately opens up the image and also the data point which led to this discrepancy. Again, as I said, we are trade practitioners and we know the challenges that an operation faces. Today, when they want to see a discrepancy, they will not know from where this discrepancy came in. But here, you can get that discrepancy directly. Also, if you look at here, it will also tell you which are, from where did it get this? So if you can see over here, it says which UCP article it refers to. So this is the knowledge garden which we use for referring to this. So I'll close it because I know the time is running out, but there is something I want to just talk about is all of this are there behind the scene, and this is done through API, which means you can embed this into your existing today processes. It does not need to shake up all of your system. It can directly go and plug in into your either back office or your front office, where your client can look at it immediately while they are submitting the document, and they know that, okay, these are my discrepancies, I better change it right now and give it, resubmit it again, instead of bank taking 5 days to come back to me and telling me that your documents are not in place. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Now, these are the few cases we have shown. More time could be there than we could have. We are planning to share you as a testing, which is the bank's biggest issue is testing the software. We have a full expert system call, entire testing cycle for how you generate test cases, because you have a knowledge garden, you know what is the kind of a functional specifications you have done, what user journeys are there. It will generate a full test scenario. It is a full case, but as of now, I don't want to hold you back. That is a full IT. What we are using, what food we are eating, offering to bank IT department, that they can also get the same efficiency in their IT department, whether it's a testing, whether in RFP processes, or new designing a new RFP, or all of it is possible because we have a repository of almost 1,000 RFP which we received as the Intellect from various vendors. To generate a new RFP has become, so our enterprise knowledge garden of RFP itself. For maintenance, our diagnostic agent on AMC, when we have customer complaint about software complaint, we have a beautiful set of 3 experts with almost 30 agents working in that for support area, which delivers the end state outcome. Assurance deployment. When you have to deploy a software, you need a 20 checklist to validate whether everything has been deployed rightly. If you go to HSBC or HDFC, the deployment cycle sometimes runs into few weeks, not few days, few weeks. This is done, this is done. We have a expert agents which can validate that this is 20 things which you need to do. So this is a part of our entire work. Before launching, we prepared ourselves for Indian market. So your question is whether it's working in Indian market. We prepared ourselves for Indian market. We didn't want to come half-cooked to Indian market. We could have come much quickly. Last year, we could have launched and said, oh, we are first in the race. It's not about the race. It's about the right things. So digital solution and product assurance is a testing area. It has got a multi-agent approach again. Your ingestion, classification, coverage, redundancies. If I look at it, how do we deploy it? The final section, 2 modes of deployment. You can have a AWS or Azure private cloud. We are fine-tuned all securities and firewall as of now on AWS and Azure. In next 3 months, we'll put it on Google. And then later, we can look at it, next year, we can look at it private cloud because we need to fine-tune the agents to make it the cost safe for you. We can use PF Cloud. Our PF Cloud is used by UK. It's validated, it's tested, it's certified on all the security guidelines on PF Cloud. So a smaller bank can use PF Cloud, a larger bank can use their own private cloud depending upon their comfort level. Both are possible. Each cloud can have independent tenants. You can create a tenants within a cloud. You have a HDFC Life as a tenant, HDFC Bank as a tenant. Each one can be operating as an independent tenant under one cloud. That's one facility which is available. If within that departments you want to create tenants for the function area, but we recommend tenant as a company level. If you have 5 companies, you have 5 tenants. And then you have independent workspaces. So tenant and workspaces are built into the system. Start small. Our point is use EKG and EnterpriseGPT. EKG 1.0, 2.0, which I mentioned. It's a very low-hanging. Every bank has a problem of their own branch manager doesn't know what products bank sells. And if they have to tell to the cross-sell. So it's a cross-sell opportunity for the bank is a EnterpriseGPT for all the relationship manager or the branch manager or the ops manager to clarify the doubts immediately. So all the expertise can be on demand in GPT. You can have a domain expertise, you have a text expertise on demand as a low-hanging. We will demonstrate to you Bank GPT for India, NBFC GPT for India. We demonstrate Capital Market GPT for India. We have SEBI rules. We have in Knowledge Garden, we have taken all the RBI circulars. We have taken all the SEBI circulars in that so that anything which is required, it's pre-built into my Enterprise GPT. I would, before jumping into it, I would like you bring a team of management team to design center in Chennai. It's a beautifully 30,000 square feet of design thinking space. They have to come out of their office. It should not be done in their customer office. It's a reimagination piece. Don't do it in your own comfort zone. You will create with too many doubters. First, you bring them into one place where at least for 2 days they can think independently. One night is important because they will have a lot of questions for next day morning. Our experience is 2-day workshop at Design Center. Imagine and discover business impact use cases, 3-day boot camp, basically part of the design thinking workshop, we can combine them together to make it real. Now we have a complete banking digital expert. So you can choose that I want to automate credit operation first, or I want to do transaction operations, or I want to take customer service, or I want to take care of onboarding. You pick up one area. I would say pick up 2 areas at a time, or 2 to 3 areas at a time, rather than one area, because sometimes the success need to be seen, and you can pick up 3 areas. 3 pilots, one in customer side, one in operation side, one in risk side. Get some compliance people in the boot camp itself to go live. Idea is you should go live on some digital expert in 45 days. Then you can demonstrate to the board of directors that something I'm making live. And this is possible with a whole ecosystem we are building for the agents. We are looking for AI strategy consultant. If somebody is working with McKinsey or working with BCG, working with PwC, we need business consulting firm. They want to work in knowledge architecting. You can work in IT services company. We have Purple Fabric Academy. We can train 20 people or 40 people who can certify how to use Purple Fabric. We have educational institution, BPO company to do the knowledge composition, infrastructure company, technology consulting, business consulting. And this is kind of a verticals, and this is kind of a horizontal. So this is kind of an ecosystem which we are looking for designing out of India. We have listened to multiple ecosystem in America, that AWS has ecosystem and Microsoft has ecosystem. We are aspiring to create this ecosystem out of India. First time made in India can go to global marketplaces, because as of now, we are ahead of them, at least 1 year ahead of them. They will copy it afterwards. Some of we have patent on EKG, we have a patent, and as well as we have a copyright on EKG. But still, American companies are American companies. I don't want to take any, we'll fight the case. But as of now, we have a good start on this. So thank you very much for listening to such a long session on working day. So some few questions, otherwise, yeah.
From a product company environment. I mean, you build these product companies for many years, and it's coming from a banking product company environment. Who are a similar competitor, or maybe?
In this space?
Yeah.
Palantir.
Okay, that's
Palantir
only
is a one, because they worked in 2005. They understood what is the defense requirement of US defense requirement.
But BFS space?
No one close. There is something called C3.ai. There is a company called H2O.ai, but they are not domain specific. They are generic specific in banking financial space. The amount of nuances which Raju has shown, Vimlendu has shown, they don't have even air of it. They say you practice it and do it.
So bottom line, nobody in the banking product space or services space.
That's what we believe. We did Gartner research, we did Forrester research. As per current level, it's not there. Every time so much investment is in AI, we don't see, it may crop up maybe in next 3 months. We don't know. We have to keep our eyes and ears open to
Thank you.
The competition.
Any more questions? Or we can have questions during the drinks and dinner also. So the session can, you have a question?
One question he has.
Yeah, one question here. Can the mic can go there? Yeah.
So Arun, we have seen that behind the scenes we're using the RAG, segmentic search, right? Is it right we're using the RAG model only for the storing all the data in the knowledge which we have? Knowledge, right? Is a enterprise knowledge. So we're using the RAG concept only?
You can answer, maybe.
So my question is RAG, on top of RAG, we got a new topic is a knowledge graph, right? Because RAG have so many hallucination, right? Because of RAG, the new concept came knowledge graph. And knowledge graph have the concept of node and search, because suppose example, I have one policy, which is HR policy, which is saying 3 days in office, right? And the new document came, which is say in policy 3 section 5, now is a 4 days in a work office. But when we're going for semantic search, because it's the nearest search, right? It's trying to find out convert your word into the numbers, and in a vector array is trying to find the nearest match. And it will give both the answer. However, we're looking for is how many days in the office we need to visit. It should say is a 4 days instead of 3 days. But because of RAG, it will give you both the answers. So that's why is the top of that, because it's a hallucination, because you're submitting the data which you're getting from the vector DB. And when knowledge graph is come, knowledge graph create based on your parent document to your child document. And then find out the node, which is the nearest node is there, and then give that.
So the knowledge graph version is also there.
Okay.
It's also there.
Okay, that's what I want to check, is only RAG, because I see as embedding model which you're using Azure one, right?
Yes.
And I think in the setting you can change those model as well based on the requirement.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I need to deep dive more on with you.
Yeah. Please
Thank
do
you.
come.
Any more questions?
Any more question quickly? Otherwise, we'll.
Otherwise, I am requesting Ramnan, CEO, India and South Asia, to just give a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I think the last 2.5 hours has been very enriching. On behalf of the organizing team of this masterclass by Mr. Arun Jain, on reimagining open business impact AI, I wish to thank each one of you in this room. Okay, we have, just for your information, participants from banks, insurance companies, capital markets, our partner organizations and consulting firms, cloud infrastructure companies, system integrators, all as part of this room. Okay, so this is real confluence of great minds who are looking at how to implement business impact AI for your own organizations or for your customers, as the case may be. Arun started by saying that if you really want to implement AI or business impact AI, you have to start from design thinking. You have to move towards first principles thinking and system thinking, so that your human mind is now ready to implement AI, right? That's the journey. He introduced the 4 tech stacks. All of you have got a sort of a input on the EKG, digital experts, PF govern, and LLM optimization models. If you see in the end, there are some specific use cases that have been shared. But if any of you are interested, there is also a book on PF that is available, which will give more details of some of these use cases that you might want to dive deep into. Okay, going back to thanking each one of you for taking your time. Arun mentioned that on a working day, coming here and spending time with us. It was a very informative session. The kind of questions that I was listening from the back, very, very detailed, oriented. Okay. Personally, I was also learning during this session based on the questions that each one of you were asking. So thank you very much. Like Hitesh said, the bar is open, and we can continue the conversations over dinner. Thank you very much, and thanks, Arun, for taking.
One exercise for your home. I said in the school we learned Pythagoras theorem. How many of us know Pythagoras theorem? All of you? A square plus B square is C square. Now there is a Pythagoras theorem on the sheet, and there are 5 pieces of elements are there in your envelope. It's on your table. Try to fit into C square. These 5 pieces together. Let me say how much time do we take to fit these 5 pieces into a C square. AI is fitting A square plus B square into C square. That's the message we want to leave, that when you try it out, if you can do it less than 20 minutes, you will be a genius. If it takes 1 hour, you are intelligent. More than 1 hour is up to you.
Spoiler alert, it is very difficult to crack it, but if you take it home and give it to your kids, they will crack it in no time. Thank you very much. Please join us for dinner.